Thank you all for coming. Hello, fellows, geniuses of various stripes and varieties. Margaret Murphy, thank you for making this happen. This is so not a potluck in the common room. And it's true, we're all wearing tags. Please feel free to talk to anyone with a fellow tag. I have to just tell you quickly that I did a thing. There's a New York festival, and I hate the New Yorker, but in this festival, and those of us who were reading or on panels just got tags that said talent. I still wear it sometimes. I've been asked to talk briefly about what my time at the Work Center meant to me. Are we a little, peas? Oh, well, like many a young aspiring writer, I got out of college and thought that I would go, like Jack Kerouac, out into the mad American night and wrestle from this gaudy and terrifying continent some great work of literary art. I bought a used Datsun. That particular kind of monkey shit yellow, remember that? Never mind. And drove off, and I'll leave out all the picker-esque elements. Suffice to say that 5 years later, I found myself bartending, shirtless in a grass skirt, in a bar in Laguna Beach called the Boom Boom Room. It was mad, it was American, and yet I felt increasingly, it had been 5 years, and I felt increasingly insane for wanting to be a writer. Certainly by the time I got to the Boom Boom Room, I didn't know anyone who was trying to write a book. I didn't really know anyone who'd ever read a book. I was certainly the only person I knew who was in his apartment all day while everyone else was out at the beach. It was a dark and stormy night, suddenly a shot rang out. No, and I confess to you that I started to lose faith. There is this romance about young, aspiring writers and artists as being possessed of this kind of inextinguishable, unstoppable passion to do what we do. And I'm sure many of you here are made of such stern stuff. I wasn't exactly. Because, well, like many young writers and artists, I wasn't that confident. I was plagued by doubts and insecurities, and as time went on and I kept making daiquiris for people who had already had too many daiquiris, I began to think, maybe I was wrong. Maybe this is a bad idea. I'm not writing anything that seems like it's any good to me. There is no one to show it to. There's no one to talk to about it. Maybe this was just a sort of caprice. Maybe I should make my parents happy and, you know, get a job that involves wearing all my clothes. And I applied because somehow I had heard of the Fine Arts Work Center on the East Coast, where I had never been. And I looked into it, I thought, well, what is this? Some kind of like a correspondence school? Is this some, you know, like draw a winky and get out? But I applied and was accepted. and loaded up. I had a new car by then. Johnson had finally quit, and drove cross country and arrived in Provincetown for my 7 months of a room of my own and a little bit of money. No one here could possibly need me to tell you how much it matters to any young artist or writer to be given 7 months and shelter and support. That goes without saying. But it gave me that I hadn't expected, which was probably in the long run at least as important as those 7 months, was my first sense of myself as a member of a community. Myself as a member of a small but hearty band of people, most of whom I loved and respect. There's a couple of exceptions, but it was almost literally like being transported into some parallel dimension where this kind of marginal crackpot ambition that my family worried about and no one I knew took seriously was central, was vital, was the thing we all wanted to do more than anything else. And I feel like it actually opened a trapdoor that led into the world of writing and art. And I left my life of confusion and uncertainty and entered a new life of confusion and uncertainty, but buoyed by a conviction based partly on what I knew of those other 19 people, the fact that I knew those other people after our fellowships were done. We're still out there. We're still living as best they could, just as I was, trying to do this impossible thing. And I felt accompanied in a way that I never had before, and in a way that has never ceased. Some of my best friends are still people I know from the Work Center and people I rely on utterly. I think it would be, maybe hyperbolic to say that time at the Work Center actually saved my literary career, but it might actually be true. It was exactly the right thing at exactly the right moment, and it changed my life. I mean, the phrase "changed my life" is so overused. We actually only get to employ it once or twice in an entire lifetime. But it's true here. It changed my life. It brought me into a sense of community, and for which I have never left. And well, as I told Margaret, I will do anything for the Fine Arts Work Center. I would have made balloon poodles out front if I had been asked. So, thank you, Fine Arts Work Center. Thank you all for coming. Please give the Work Center your love. If you have any money, give it some money. That's not a requirement. Love will do. And thank you. Thank you for your presence. Thank you for your outfits. Thank you for your support and your love.